Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? We're back. Sorry, I had to take a little break, a little week off. My sister was in town, and I wanted to just show her Kansas City and have a good time with her. We tried going to Mean Mule Distillery, which who I have on today is Tiki D, Diana. She is a bartender at Mean Mule, and I tried taking my sister there, but they were closed on the days we went. So, anyways, Tiki D specializes in what else? Tiki. What is tiki? Tune in and find out. Tiki drinks, those rum inspired drinks you see in like all the old time TV shows and movies with like Elvis Presley, or maybe something you'd think Gilligan would have had before the 3 hour tour. She's an amazing woman, has overcome a lot, and has an amazing story. Born in America, then sent as a baby to go live in Bolivia, and then come back up here. Crazy story. She's passionate about bartending. She's passionate about, I don't know if I would say bartending, but that and people when it breaks down to it. Like, she loves her job. She's an incredible mixologist. Like, she makes some amazing drinks. Go to Mean Mule Distillery. It's in the Crossroads on Tuesday nights. And that's her tiki nights. Oh, some of the best drinks. I mean, go there during the week anyways, whether it's her bartending or not. It's just, Mean Mule is awesome. It's one of my favorite places to drink. Tiki D is my favorite bartender in Kansas City, and hopefully she will be yours too. She's an awesome, awesome person, and I'm excited for you guys to listen to this, and I really do hope you guys go in to Mean Mule Distillery and order one of her drinks. That's it, guys. Enjoy this episode. This was a lot of fun. Boom, schlock, boom.
Welcome to the Inner Talk Podcast. We'll no topic is off limits. Now here's your host, my daddy, and Roy the Soul. Thank you for coming to the Inner Talk Podcast. Boom, schlock, boom.
3, 2, 1. Tiki D. Thank you so much for coming here. This is great.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to take a sip of my drink real quick.
Same.
Tiki D, I know you. You are my favorite bartender in Kansas City.
That's awesome.
I've never had a favorite bartender in Kansas City before, so you are my first. I've been waiting for a long time to have one. All right, I'm going to help you out real quick, though. Switch your headphones to your other ear.
Oh, like this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go.
There you go. Feels better.
Yeah, it does.
So you work at Mean Mule.
Mm-hmm.
Mean Mule Distillery? Is that what the guys call it officially?
Yeah, it was the Distilling Co.
Distilling
Mule
Co.
Distilling.
It's in the Crossroads,
Yeah.
which is one of my favorite areas of Kansas City. And it's right in between Parlor and Grinders, which most people know.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been open. Well, I guess it's not. What is your affiliation with them other than bartender? Or is that just, you're just a bartender for them? Or is there?
Well, I actually helped open the place up last year. So it's been open a little bit over a year now officially. But I was only there like 1 day a week.
Get right up
COVID.
on them, try to stay into the mic. It'll sound
Oh, okay.
better.
There we go.
And you can move the mic, do this.
Okay,
However.
I'm probably gonna put it closer to me.
There you go.
we
Get
go.
close.
Okay. So I mean, I was there, like 1 day a week because I was at Tiki Cat full time, and then COVID hit, and then Tiki Cat closed. So then I started working full time, and now I manage the bar. So I guess bartender manager, whatever
There
you
you
want to
go.
call it, lead.
How long have you been bartending? How old are you, first of all?
I'm 26
And how long have you been bartending?
since 21.
Okay.
So the minute I turned 21, that's when I started bartending at this little bar in Waldo called District. And I was that annoying server that would always ask questions to the bar manager and be like, hey, what's that? What's that? Like, why do you do that? And, Gordon Roberts, he was my mentor. He actually owns a restaurant called the Presspenny Tavern in West Plaza now. And he was like, if you want to just bartend, just, come back here. I was like, cool. So I turned 21, and then I started bartending morning shifts because those are the easiest shifts, right? And eventually, I graduated from morning bartender to night bartender, and then once you make it to the weekend bartender, you're official. So, since I was 21, and District was like a craft cocktail bar.
Okay.
So I learned all the basics before I became a tiki bartender.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the classic cocktails like the Negroni, Old Fashioned, Sazeracs. And that was a really good base for me, especially since I was just starting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I got really lucky for that bar to like have me as a bartender for the first time. And then from there, I went on to opening up other restaurants and like Bori Ramen. I worked there for a little bit. And then I worked at the Presspenny Tavern for Gordon's place. And after that, I got offered a Tiki Cat, and that was like where my niche, like I was like in love with Tiki. And that was 3 years ago.
Was that Tiki?
When
why
Tiki
why
came.
did they close? I mean, no, because I know you said COVID, but a lot of other places didn't close down. Did they close because of COVID, or was it strictly like a money thing because of COVID?
It was,
Like-
from what I know, I mean, everything was very hush hush at the beginning because they didn't want to obviously scare us, especially at a time like this. But from what I know, it was just like a financial struggle for them to keep that place open, especially when they had other locations around the United States. I think they have 18
Oh wow.
Hopcats. Yeah. It started in Michigan.
Yeah, I've been to that one.
Yeah. That's the original, the OG.
Yeah, I've been to the original. It's
Yeah.
a pretty cool little spot.
Yeah.
Have you been
So-
to it?
Yeah, actually.
Oh yeah, cool.
I actually went there and met my boss, Mark, the owner, founder, CEO, I guess. And he was the one that, got me into Tiki as well. So Tiki Cat was like his little side project.
That was like the little speakeasy
Yeah.
underneath Hopcat, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So originally Tiki Cat was supposed to be in Hawaii, apparently. Like they were planning on opening up a Hopcat there,
Mm-hmm.
but eventually they decided in the Midwest.
That's a drastic difference.
I know, right? Well, Kansas City used to have 3 tiki bars back in the 60s.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was a tiki town in a sense, and then eventually, it died off. But he wanted to bring it back to the Midwest, and he did. I think it was the perfect location in a sense where like there was no other bar like it in Kansas City when it came, and Hopcat happens to be a beer bar, so it was completely different from upstairs. So when you enter this bar from in Hopcat, you go downstairs and then you open this door and it's a completely different
It's almost like a hidden
atmosphere.
door too.
It was a hidden door, and you get like it was I don't know, it was just like it was kind of magical in my opinion. Even working there, it never got old. It felt like I was in a show every single night.
Like Gilligan's Island or something?
Literally. And like that too. But also like we had a little camera at the bar, and like 5 o'clock hit and the doors would open, but there would be a line wrapped around all the stairs, and it would be like, all right guys, showtime. And we would all just like be like, all right guys, like let's get the waters ready, restorations. And then after that would be like, okay, we'll play like a little song before we open the doors, and be like, all right guys, showtime. And we'll just little dance. And I miss that. And yeah, I know people were really excited always to come in. It was definitely a different type of clientele in the sense where people were excited to be there too. They expected a show in a sense of like the cocktails, the atmosphere, from the music to the lights. It wasn't just like a normal bar where you just go and have a cocktail and peace out.
Okay. It wasn't just like a regular
It was an
speakeasy.
experience,
Yeah, okay.
from the service to the music, the mood. It was beautiful. And Mark Sellers, the founder, he definitely did it right because he got like the best of the best in the tiki world, from Shag, the artist, to Anthony Carpenter, who did our mugs or the artwork for the menu. There was just a lot of people that put a lot of love in that place. And Bamboo Ben designed that space as well, which is a really well-known tiki designer. And we had Martin Kate, who is James Beard Award. I think that's how you say it.
James Beard Award, yeah.
Winner for the book called Smuggler's Cove. And he came in and trained us on tiki history, why we do the things. And that was, I think, one of the biggest highlights when Tiki Cat opened, because people in the cocktail world found out that he was in Kansas City and teaching the bartenders about tiki culture, and he was part of the opening of Tiki Cat. And that was one of the biggest, I think, things that people were like, oh, we got to go to this bar and check it out. And I unfortunately wasn't part of the people that got taught by Martin Gate, but I did get to meet him a few times actually throughout my tiki adventures at Tiki Cat throughout the years, and he's awesome.
Does he live here?
No, he lives in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
He owns a beautiful bar called Smuggler's Cove, which is based off his book Smuggler's Cove, which is the winner.
So what happens to Tiki Cat now with the whole little basement, like all the decorations, the whole atmosphere, like the whole building, the Hop Cat, like what's going to happen? Is it going to get sold to someone else?
Everybody that I've seen, I'm pretty sure I get asked that question like every single week by somebody. It's funny. Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen to any of that, sadly. If it was up to me, I would buy it all. I want all of it. And but I have no idea what's going to happen to it. I just hope, whoever has it has good intentions with it, because they're pretty cool stuff down there. And I know I just got really attached to everything, because I would you were kind of like a travel agent too, in a sense, when you were down there, because people will ask you like, who made that? Where's that from? And you'd be like, oh, this is from this artist, or blah blah blah. So I don't know what's gonna happen to the stuff, or what. I have no idea. But hopefully, we open Tiki Cat back up in the future. That's the hope. They've been talking about it, but I also don't know.
Yeah, just rumors. That's how
We're
it goes.
all, yeah.
Are there any other tiki places in Kansas City?
No. Well, actually, sorry. Yes, wrong. Tiki Huna in the Iron District.
Oh, I've heard of that
Yes.
place. I have not gone down there yet. I wanted to go there last week, but they have funny hours right now.
Yeah, I think they're open right now Thursday through Sunday.
I think that's right.
And they open at 10 a.m. and they're
Mhm.
until 10:10, I believe. And
10 to 10.
Mm-hmm. I actually do guest bartend there.
Okay.
So for me to say it doesn't exist, my bad, Trent. Sorry if you're hearing this. But that little space is basically like ship containers.
Yeah.
And they have little vendors, like from clothing to food items, from food vendors.
Mhm.
And then the only bar that's there is Tiki Huna. And Trent is the bar manager there, and he was the one that was like, hey, would you want to come down and work a few shifts? Because Tiki Cat closed, so he knew that he kind of had me.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I do. I miss Tiki. I love doing those cocktails. They're fun. So I'm there like twice a week. Well, 2 times a month. My bad, not twice a week.
Okay. And then every Tuesday at Mean Mule, you do a tiki night.
Yes.
Tiki Tuesdays.
Tiki Tuesdays with Tiki D.
Yes, exactly. The best.
So the owners, they knew how much passionate I was about Tiki, and they let me play around on Tuesdays with rums instead of just Mean Mule.
Mhm.
I do have some Mean Mule cocktails, obviously on the menu, always available on Tuesdays, because that's what we were trying to sell.
And they're phenomenal.
They're amazing. But on Tuesdays, it's a little bit more special for me specifically, because I get to bring cocktails that you won't really find anymore in Kansas City, like the Painkiller, the Zombie, and it's kind of cool to see all the regulars who used to go to Tiki Cat come on Tuesdays now and get a little drink, and they're like, oh, it's a little, piece of paradise. Not full on out, obviously, because it's not decked out tiki, but the cocktail.
Yeah. We've mentioned tiki a bunch of times, and I mean, I kind of know what it is, but I mean, what exactly is tiki? I mean, it's more than just rum-inspired drinks, right?
Right. So the word tiki is basically the first human. That's what it translates to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And what culture? Like South Pacific or something?
Correct. But tiki itself, it started in the 1930s, and it was actually invented here in the United States, in California, to be more specific, by two guys, Trader Vic and Don Beach. And they, according to like the books and what I've read, it's like they were travelers, world renowned men, and they wanted to bring that South Pacific vibes to the United States, that the escapism that you get from being in a tiki bar. And also after the war ended, World War II, all of those soldiers came back, and they brought stories from their travel, like from them being in Hawaii, and so they took advantage in that situation of like, oh, this is the perfect time to open up a bar or a restaurant that's going to transport you back to those areas. And they did a really good job in that sense. So that's where tiki started happening. But I believe Don DeBeach was the main guy first, and then Trader Vic came second. But Trader Vic was an amazing mixologist too, because he was the one that created it, supposedly the Mai Tai, and that's one of the classic cocktails till this day that you see around the world.
Who came up with a lot of these drinks? Were a lot of these drinks from their travels on these islands?
Yeah. I think a lot of them were inspired cocktails that they saw throughout their journeys, and then they brought them back and they made them their own, and then they put those names, Mai Tai, Zombie, and then they became really big for a very long time. And then in the 60s, it died again. And
what happened
in the 60s? Well, from what I've read, I guess it's because rock, sex, and drugs started happening, and tiki just kind of just died in a sense.
Okay, yeah.
It was more seen as tacky, and something that your grandpas were into.
I got it.
And
that makes sense.
All the 60 kids were
a completely new generation. Just get out of here with that old.
Exactly.
Yeah, quick, go over there and talk about your war, your old people, drink your rum and pineapple, whatever.
They just wanted
We're
fast
dropping
drinks.
acid and rocking the Jimi Hendrix.
And they wanted fast drinks because the clubs were really big at that point, disco and all that. And, they wanted just a vodka soda or a vodka grenadine. Like, they didn't care about the execution of the drinks. The art that comes with tiki and just classic cocktails. So I think that's what happened in the 60s. They didn't care anymore. They were like, I just want a fast drink. I want to get drunk. Let's go.
What year was Gilligan's Island?
I don't know. So here's the thing with me. I came here when I was 11. Mm-hmm. So that show was already happening. And
what happened way before my time even. It's an old ass show.
Yeah, I was like,
but
I've seen a few clips of it for sure, and we used to actually play it at Tiki Cat on the little TV.
Nice.
So yeah, I've seen that little show, but I don't know what year it came out.
Where did you come from? 11 years old? Where did you spend your first 11 years?
In South America.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came here when I was 11, but I was actually, long story short, I guess in a way, I was born in Jersey, in Teaneck. And my mom at the time was an immigrant, so she couldn't really afford to take care of me at the time. So she sent me back to Bolivia to live with my aunt and my cousins till I was, till I was 11. But, I mean, it was really hard for her to, obviously do that because she didn't know any English. And to have me in a country where she didn't have any help, she had to do what she had to do. And, so I grew up with my cousins, and
how old, you were like a baby when she sent you down there?
Yeah, 8 months apparently.
Okay.
And my uncle helped me get down there, I guess.
Did you have to get smuggled down there?
No, my uncle had a visa.
Okay.
And she was an immigrant, so she crossed the border and everything, so she couldn't take me.
Right.
Because then she would just get deported,
Yeah.
basically. So my uncle, who had a visa, a traveling visa at the time, he was the one that helped get me to Bolivia. And that's how I got there at 8 months old, little Diana. And so I grew up, I guess, half of my childhood thinking that my aunt was my mom and my cousins were my brothers and sisters till I was 8. And then I got the news that wasn't true. And
Oh, it must have been devastating.
I was so upset.
What do you do at 8? Oh my, well, yeah. What do you do? Like, how do you handle that? How did you handle it?
I think I just have really bad trust issues because of that, but I don't know. It was really sad. And for me specifically, because I loved my family.
Mm-hmm.
I love my cousins. I don't even call them cousins, they're my brothers and sisters.
Right.
But when I'm talking in story,
Yeah.
I'd say cousins.
For sure.
But no, I love them so much, and I love living in Bolivia. That's the world that I knew. Like, I didn't know anything else. I knew about America through my aunt, who used to call me all the time, and it happens to be my mom. And it's funny, so when I was little, me and my cousin Jessica, she was a little bit older than me, like 2 years, I'd be like, she likes me better than you. She sends me better gifts.
Oh. Like, we got to check this chick real quick. As soon as she's old enough, we're letting her know. Like, she's talking too much trash. Well, you just wait.
Yeah, I was like, she likes. I always felt I was the favorite one for some weird reason, and so did she.
Right.
And in she was like, why did she get a Game Boy? And and I eventually everything clicked. And I was like, whoa. When they decided to tell me that, it was because my mom at the time, she was ready to have me back in the States. She got married to my stepdad at the time, and he helped her get her citizenship.
Nice.
So she was able to, okay, now I'm ready to have my daughter back. So let's tell her the truth. And then when that happened, I was so devastated. I didn't want to leave.
Right.
I was like, I don't know you, lady.
Yeah.
I just know you through the phone.
Yeah. Thanks for the Game Boy. I'm staying here.
I've never met you. Who are you? And so it was really all of a sudden. Like, she didn't really give my family either, like, some time to...
It must have been devastating for them.
They were really upset too. She didn't really give him time to plan this out. Like, how can we tell her? And she was like, I'm coming next week.
Damn.
It was all of a sudden.
That's not good for anybody.
No, they were really upset at her, of course. And they were like, you don't know what you're doing to this kid. It's very traumatic. We need to plan this out.
Right.
And she showed up in Bolivia, and that was the first time I met her at 8. And there's actually a picture. I should have brought a picture, but it's just like me and my mom, and I'm just like super like like a little kid, like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Like in every single picture. And then actually, she realized that this probably wasn't going to work out if she brings me back. I was crying every night that she was there. She stayed for a whole week, and my cousins were crying. It was just a really sad week. And I don't know how they convinced her. They were just like, how about we put her in an American school, because they did have American schools in Bolivia. Surprisingly, it's called the American school. And they teach you English, kind of like a foreign, school here. Like, you just learn English. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, okay, if you guys put her in a school like that, I'm willing to, think about it. So she stayed another week. So she stayed 2 weeks total. And eventually she decided to, okay, let's do this. And she didn't really know me either. She probably was freaking out to have a kid. And she does not want to be with me.
Yeah.
And so they convinced her, and I got to stay till I was 11. And and that's how I came to America when I was 11. and I didn't know any English.
Right.
It's funny enough because so I was supposed to go to an American school, but the tuition was so high and my family wasn't rich at all.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom decided to let's just keep her in a private school, but it was all Spanish. And it was always like growing up about school. It's so weird, like her education, like it was always the main priority when they talked about everything. So yeah, I stayed there till 11. I came here, and
Was it easier to adjust then because you had like 4 years to prepare for it?
No, I kind of forgot about it in a sense. I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I'm not going there.
But they're not your aunt and uncle aren't like constantly reminding you like, all right, hey,
no,
we got 2 years left with you. Hey, next year.
The last year was really sad because it felt like it was going so fast,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like like those really bad butterflies
Mm-hmm.
all year long.
Mm.
And it was just like, but
Ugh.
the first like
Anxiety for
Anxiety.
an 11-year-old. That's so brutal.
yeah, but when I came here at 11, I thought it was the weirdest thing that you guys had air conditioning everywhere.
The weirdest thing or greatest
The
thing
greatest
ever?
thing, but also weird. I was like, everybody's super rich.
Yeah.
In my head, you don't think, like, I was thinking that way because in Bolivia, only the wealthiest of the wealthiest are able to have air conditioning.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like, it's not common. It's just not I mean,
What kind of like city, village, like what were you living in Bolivia?
it was
What
a city,
Okay.
La Paz.
Okay.
And we didn't live in the city area. We lived like in the outside of the city. So let's say like, I don't know, it would be like the Westport area or something, right? Instead of like being downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like it's a third world country. So it's definitely doesn't have the luxury buildings and lifestyle that we had here, especially in like 1988 and all those places. And I mean back in the day. But yeah, so I thought it was really cool. You guys had air conditioning everywhere.
Yeah, it must have been awesome, right?
It was awesome, but I was like, whoa, like they have it really good here. So you start appreciating life in a different lens for sure.
What else were you
One
blown
of
away
the
with,
things, okay, so in Bolivia also, when we drink tea, it's always been hot. Growing up, I've never had cold tea. And when I went to McDonald's with my mom, my real mom, I was like, I want some tea. And she was like, okay. And it was iced tea. And I was
Right.
like, what is this nonsense? And then I drank it and I was like, this is so good.
Oh shit.
I fell in love with it. It was like the sweet tea.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's so good.
It's so I have to mix that like half and half, or else it's just too sugary.
But it's just sweet tea in general. I was mind
People
blown.
love McDonald's sweet tea.
Or
People
just-
love it.
Yeah, but the McDonald's itself, yeah, great. But like just iced tea in general.
I love iced tea.
I was mind blown that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know about it until I was 12, basically. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Game changer on drinking tea.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so it took me a while to learn English. I didn't become fluent until I was 16.
Was your mom pissed off? Like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be here ready to speak English, and you.
No, she wasn't because
Okay.
I mean the plan was for me to be in an American school, but the tuition was so high that my mom.
Oh, I didn't know. Maybe if your aunt and uncle were telling her, "Oh yeah, she's learning English just fine. We got her in the
Well,
American school," and then
No.
send her up there and like, "No habla."
I knew 3 words, by the way. It was help, bathroom, and cake.
Why cake?
Because I like cake. Why not?
You really like cake.
I
Help,
love
bathroom, and cake. All right. I mean, well, you were 11,
I
so
was 11.
what 11-year-old doesn't like cake?
Exactly. So, yeah. But no, I mean, it wasn't a surprise to them because, well, my mom and my stepdad at the time, because,
Mhm.
I was in private school and they did have an English class, but everybody teaches English or Spanish in any school. Yeah.
So you get fluent by 16.
Yeah, fluent.
Wait, but you didn't go to New Jersey. You came here.
No, to Kansas City. My mom,
I was thinking
Eventually-
Jersey the whole time, but okay.
no, eventually my mom, while I was living in Bolivia as a kid, she moved to Kansas City. She went on a road trip with her friend at the time, and they saw how much cheap it was to live in Kansas City compared to Jersey. Like, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna live in Jersey anymore. No, I'm gonna move here." And she moved here, and ever since then, we've been here. But I mean, it is pretty cheap compared to Jersey, I'm sure.
Compared to a lot of places.
Yeah.
Kansas City's great.
I love Kansas City.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go back to Bolivia?
I went last year.
Nice.
That was the first time in 7 years that
to go visit your family?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to make it a thing where I go every year. Hopefully. Hopefully this year, but probably won't. Because of, what's happening in the
Are you
world.
a citizen at all? A Bolivian citizen?
Yeah. Basically.
And an American citizen? Are you a dual citizen? Are you
Yeah.
an American citizen?
Mm-hmm.
So would you be able to travel? Is there because there's a travel ban, right?
The only reason why I say that is because I would have to quarantine, and I don't think I can
Oh.
be gone that long because I am still working.
You can go there, but then you have to sit in a hotel for 2 weeks or
Mhm.
something. Ugh.
So it's is it even worth going?
No.
Exactly. So I probably won't go this year, but I would like to go. But it happens.
Kansas City loves you. I
Thank
see
you.
them. I see them out there. I see Tiki Tuesday. All your people in there, and it's packed a lot. And then I saw you at your Westport Cafe, and it was all your people. Like, people love you. How cool is that? That
It's
you're
really
just like
fun.
this bartender that people love, and they want, hey, make me drinks, Tiki D.
Pick me a drink. I think a lot of it has to do with service too. And if you don't have that, welcoming vibe and smile, I feel like people aren't really going to want to come support that much. But it's also about community. I feel like people right now are trying to show a lot of support and love to a lot of the service industry people, because our industry is definitely has had it the hardest throughout the pandemic, and there's restaurants and places going out of business left and right. So I think with my pop-ups that I'm doing in Kansas City, in a way I'm trying to support those local establishments and bring, people in for a slow Sunday or a slow Tuesday, and make it into a little tiny tiki event. And, obviously with safety precautions, because we still have to be safe about it, and, have fun and have some cocktails and transport you away. But it's been fun because a lot of people are coming out and supporting me and supporting the establishment. And the next one that I'm doing is this month at Dotson's in Waldo on a Tuesday, the 27th. So that's going to be another tiki takeover. I'm going to deck it all out, tiki style, tiki
Yeah,
cocktails.
I love your tiki. Yeah, so that goes part of the tiki too, the whole culture. It's more than just the drinks, but there's a whole vibe, and you get
It's
that
a
vibe with
vibe.
more than just the drinks.
Yeah, is that tropical escapism. But there's also actually a lot of sub parts of tiki. There's space tiki,
Whoa.
which is super Disney tiki. You can go and
tell me Disney tiki. What the heck does that
Disney-
mean? It's all Winnie the Pooh themed and Buzz
no,
Lightyear, or
it's more like Star Wars.
yeah,
That's very there's a and
I'm not a Star Wars guy.
yeah, I like Star Wars.
Most people do. I'm in the minority. I'm not it's fine. I don't hate it, but I'm not a Star Wars geek. There's dudes that got tattoos of fucking Chewbacca and shit on their arms. I'm like, bro, it was a fine movie, I guess, back in the 70s or whenever it came out. But
it was really big in Bolivia when Star Wars came out.
okay.
Yeah, because I saw Star Wars when I was little, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. No, tiki definitely has a lot of little sub parts of it, which is really cool. So you can go at it at any angle, in a sense. There's punk tiki and all this cool stuff.
What makes
surf
them punk? But it's still an islandy theme, but what separates it from Star Wars and punk or whatever else? What distinguishes the difference between?
I think so. Tiki is also very collectible. Their mugs, there's menus, there's theme menus in a sense. So you can really do that with the subcultures within tiki.
Okay.
So when you have like a theme bar specifically that's tiki, but it's, let's say it's like Trader Sam's in Disney World, I believe. It's a tiki bar. Obviously they're gonna have like mugs that are like Disney style. So I think you can do a lot of collectibles with it.
Okay.
Which is really the fun part of tiki, is being able to do that.
That would be fun.
Yeah. And so you went to this bar that was a specific theme, but it was a tiki bar. You can collect mugs, swizzle sticks, pins from it, put that in your bar, right? Your home bar. And then you go to another bar in, let's say, Arizona, and a different type of theme tiki bar. And
is the idea behind some of these tiki bars with like the tiki looking designer mugs, are those like encouraged to be bought by patrons, or are those just to be there? Like you're saying for these collectibles, well, how do I get one of these?
Oh yeah, they're always in display. Like, and
for sale usually, like on these.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I think with tiki though, like most people expect, like if you are not, like if you know about tiki and you've been around the block following it, you just know that most tiki bars will have something for you to take home, specifically a mug.
Okay.
So
that'd be cool.
Yeah. In our bar, like Tiki Cat, we've had at least 6 types of mugs from different artists that would make, obviously the design work, and then we get it produced by Tiki Farm, and we would sell them for our anniversaries or for random releases. And I think that's like the special part about being a tiki enthusiast, I would say, being collecting all these mugs and limited editions and stuff.
So yeah, your Tiki Tuesday is kind of like just a taste of what a tiki bar is really like.
Yes. And hopefully one day I'll have my bar.
That's your goal, right? Is to have your own bar? A tiki bar?
In a sense, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely tiki drinks. But I want it to be more catering to the culture of the rums more too. Because the rums have such a rich history from, all over the world. And specifically, like, I'm a Latina woman. So I want to be able to showcase my heritage more.
Is rum
tiki.
A Latin drink?
Rum is a spirit. but I mean, you can make rum everywhere in the world. Like, there is no rules on where you can make rum.
Yeah, when I think of rum, I always think of,
Yeah, people think that, but
Caribbean.
Right.
Caribbean islands and
there's
shit.
rum everywhere. There's really no rule on where to make it. Which is the beautiful part about it.
But Latin America's got a rum scene?
Oh yeah, we do.
Okay.
Definitely. But there's French rums, and there's rums everywhere, which I love. I remember talking about last Tuesday about the rum agricole.
That grass rum.
Yeah,
oh
that's my favorite.
Gosh, that
rum.
shit is some funky stuff. I liked
I love it.
But that was I like the plantation stuff we had the week before.
Yeah, Plantations Barbados 5-year, very smooth.
Yeah, like I'm very ignorant when it comes to rum. I don't know how many people. Rum's one of those things that I don't think many people explore. I think a lot of people just do the main. They think of whiskey's a big one, Scotch is a big one, tequila is getting a little bit more traction these days with like the Don Julios and El Patron and stuff like that. But I don't ever I worked in a pretty fancy liquor store for a while. And nobody ever messes with the rum. When they do, it's Kraken. It's Captain Morgan's.
Right. I think rum just has a really bad rap. Because people aren't really have been taught about rum. Yeah, for sure. And I think tiki helps that build that bridge. And there's a rum for everybody out there. Yeah. There's all types of rums. And that's the cool thing about rum, in my opinion. But people just classify it as a sweet spirit or something. It's like, no, there's so many types of rums out there, and there's a rum for you. Yeah. You just gotta keep going. Yeah, if you drink alcohol, you'll find one. Yeah. You'll find one that you like. And also, like I said, like the book Smuggler's Cove, it's a really great book to have if you're trying to get into rum, because it really does break down the types of rums, like where they come from, how they taste, how they were distilled. And so if you want to learn about rum and try to find your rum, definitely grab that book. It's a good book.
Yeah, you always have. Is that the book you have?
Yeah, I
there?
always have that book on Tiki Tuesdays out on display.
And it's got a ton of, and then on your Tiki Tuesdays, you always pick one drink out of that book to make, along with the rest of your drinks. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's funny because people are like, okay, what's the special this Tuesday?
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, let's do a Barbados Punch or Don's Own Grog. So it's fun, and they're letting me, the owners at Mimi are letting me, order this rum. So thank you. Because it's obviously not related to our agave spirit. So that's really nice of them to let me kind of explore and do my own thing besides working there.
Yeah. And you're still selling the other stuff. I mean,
I'm still selling them.
I love the Me Mule drinks.
Yes.
The summer menu was amazing. What was that one?
The mojito?
The spicy. I love mojitos, but this is a different mojito. This isn't your average mojito, and it's spicy. And then there was a cucumber one.
We infuse it with jalapenos and cucumbers.
Yeah.
And me mule.
And then didn't you drop and then drop spicy?
It was a habanero tincture.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. To make it more spicy.
Yes.
It was already spicy.
It's so good. I never knew I liked spicy drinks. Mm-hmm. And now the fall menu is phenomenal. I had the hot cider, whatever.
The Country Roads.
Country Roads. And it's got this thick crust of cinnamon and nutmeg or something on the rim.
It's sugar and cinnamon.
Oh, and and when you take a sip, the crust of that stuff hits your lips, and at the same time as the liquid hits, it's like you're eating and drinking apple pie.
That's awesome.
It's so
I'm glad
good.
you like it.
That's the best. And that's your creation, right?
Yeah. I love apple cider.
There's a few menus on the fall item that were created by all the different bartenders, correct? Mm-hmm. And then that one was yours.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. What are the other ones on there for?
So you have the Sleepy Hollow by Chrissy. She, it's really good. It's like a coconut spice forward cocktail. So it has orange curacao, coconut cream, a pumpkin spice syrup, and the gold Mean Mule. It's so good, and it has a nutmeg on top, so you get that little Christmas vibes in a sense. And then El Bandito, if you're sweet and spicy, definitely that drink is your go-to. So we infuse ancho chili peppers, and we use a little bit of chinar, and it's delicious. And then we also have a Ace in a Hole, which is ginger syrup, Aperol, and silver. Very refreshing, simple, kind of like a daiquiri in a sense, where it's just served up, simple, delicious. And then we also have our classics, obviously. And then the Night Whisper is the one that's really popular right now too. It's really pretty too. It's a purple little drink. It comes with an edible flower from Missing Ingredients that we get from. It has lavender, and violet liqueur, so it's very aromatic. And our silver agave, delicious if you're looking for something really cute and fancy. And delicious too. But yeah, so that's basically all of our cocktails that we created. And then we also have our classics like the Margarita, Paloma, Mean Mule, and then Sangria for this fall.
You haven't had the Sangria.
Definitely try it. It's really boozy.
Yeah. Give me some booze. Give me some booze. That's a crazy story. You've got a crazy life. So do you I don't know. Do you prefer air conditioning over non-air conditioning?
No, I love it. It's really cool that we're able to do that. It's the little things that make you appreciate where you are, where you're from. So I like going back home too, because you realize how good we have it in a sense here, and compare it over there. Like when I've talked to my family recently with the pandemic happening, it's really taken a toll on them mentally, because it was already a third world country, but now you're seeing people in the streets not being able to take care of themselves. They have corona, and they have kids with them, and they're dying, you know, of corona or something like related, and there's kids in the streets right now everywhere. It's just like really taking a toll on the country, and you know, we don't see that here.
Not at all.
You'll never.
Not
yeah.
at all.
And over there, it's so. It was already like that when I lived there, you know, and it's gotten worse through the pandemic. So I can only imagine how, you know, how sad and horrifying it's to be able to live right now over there.
The pandemic's hitting them pretty hard.
Absolutely. Like the families, you know.
Oh, and, wow, I didn't even, yeah, you don't even think about that. Like how these countries like that are handling it. Like we're worried about our numbers and stuff like that, but we got the best healthcare there is.
To a certain extent.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But nobody, you know, not everybody has insurance.
No, not everybody has it.
I don't.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Damn.
I used to have it for Tiki Cat, and then Tiki Cat.
Since now so are you trying to find what are you gonna do about that? Like, are you concerned about that? Are you trying to? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna never mind. Forget I asked that.
Yeah.
I don't need to. I don't. Yeah, that's a bad question in case your employers are. But you do want to open up your own place one time soon. That's like your goal.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
That would be really cool. That's the next step, right? And eventually have my family here. I'm joking.
Oh yeah, would you like that? Would you like to have them up here?
That.
Would they want to come up here?
Of course, but you know they don't know any English, so it would be really hard for them to start over, basically, from scratch. I'm the youngest one in my whole family.
Yeah, if you start your own tiki bar, you can just hire them. Bring them up
there's so
here.
many laws.
There are?
You know, visa. You have to get a visa.
Oh,
okay. It's too many loopholes.
Well, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish. It's a dream of mine to be reunited with my family someday.
You could have
That's always been my dream, to go back home, buy a mansion for all of us so we can all live together again, or just, you know, be able to support them in a sense where they don't have to worry about where the next meal is going to come from or how they're going to make it. Because a little side story, Bolivia right now doesn't have a president. Yeah, in December, the president, Evo Morales, he got kicked out because of the elections that were happening at the time. A lot of corruption was happening in both parties, and so he had to flee the country, and Mexico took him in. What's that called when like a president has to leave because like he basically got impeached, yeah, but he also had to flee the country because they wanted to kill him. Yeah. Damn. So Mexico took him in, and so right now they've had this lady, I forgot her name. I don't really follow the politics much besides from what my family tells me, but there's this lady obviously who, when after the vice president quit, like everybody on his party quit.
Right.
And so the only party left was the right. And that was the party that was against Evo. And so right now they have this lady who's been in charge this whole time. And they were supposed to have elections in March, but then Corona happened. Oh. So they don't have a president till this day.
Do we have a stable government?
Oh, of course. Like if anywhere. Imagine if our government collapsed. It would be crazy here. I feel like people would think that they can do whatever they want. And right now it's happening over there. My family actually worked in a sense for the government. One of my cousins was a marketing director for the cultural programs for Bolivia. And I had another cousin who was the ambassador for I forgot how you say it in English, but it was like a cultural, like bringing people in from other countries to showcase your culture.
Okay.
I forgot the
liaison.
I think so. But anyways, everybody who worked for the government,
ambassador.
Yeah, they all got fired. Huh. And that's just how it works in other countries. There is no system of, you know, like you can't just fire people here left and right because you don't like what they believe or who they stand for political way. Over there, yeah, if you're not on their side, they'll just fire you. And that's what happened because my family, was obviously an Evo advocates. And yeah, so they don't have jobs, and they haven't had a job since January.
So what are they doing?
You-
Odd jobs here. Like, how do
yeah,
you?
my cousin's doing odd jobs, like video jobs randomly, and I'm also helping them
Yeah.
throughout the pandemic. It's been rough on them, for sure. And we luckily have a house that we used to rent out, or still do in a sense. So they're getting rent money through those people.
Is it political unrest? Is there like gonna be some kind of takeover type thing, or is there like shit going on?
Apparently, there's supposed to be a new election in November.
Yeah, but they were supposed to have one in March.
Yeah. Well, they had to pause it. If you read into it, it's kind of crazy. A lot of people think it was a military coup that happened in Bolivia this past year. AOC is behind it. Like, she's totally saying that that did happen. Bernie Sanders came out with a statement saying it happened. And I mean,
Who staged it?
They think, obviously the government, the military side. They've always never wanted Evo to be president. He was actually the first indigenous president in the world.
Okay. What didn't they like about him? That he was indigenous?
Well, surprisingly or not, in Bolivia, there's a lot of racism in the way your skin color is. Even though we're the same, Bolivian culture, if you're lighter, obviously you're better, apparently, to them. And there's racism with, like, if you're darker, you're indigenous and you're considered, like, from the poor, from the villages. It's a really sad...
what do they assume if you're lighter? That you've mixed with French or something?
Mixed with, Spanish or,
like a long time ago? Like many, 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 many generations
it's weird.
ago? Okay.
Bolivia has, or South America in general, has its own type of discrimination and racism that's very different to here, in a sense.
Oh, yeah. Racism isn't anything new or American-centric. Racism is all over the world.
It's crazy. But it's just crazy to me that it's, like, literally the same...
The same race, but just different shades?
Just different shades. And last names, too.
Okay.
So if you have a certain last name, like there's, like, very indigenous names. So you just know they're indigenous. Like, my last name, for example, Condori, it goes way back to the Incas. And obviously they're indigenous, very hard indigenous. And so my last name, I never lived through that in Bolivia, but my family... They had to hide a few times, like, they're like,
because they have an indigenous last name.
Yeah, because they would get discriminated against.
Are they
jobs.
darker? Because you don't look dark at all.
No, they weren't dark. They just had the last name.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So like, hopefully we can, we can float by here with our light skin color. You just have to change your last name. Oh,
it was crazy because, you won't get hired for jobs, or you won't get invited to parties. It was like, it's a social thing, and it's really sad. But I never lived through that. It was when my aunt and my mom would tell me stories that they had, like, in school, they had, like, like school sessions and stuff of, like, people with certain last names.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, we'll go to different
so
times.
So instead of, like,
eat.
here we had, like, the white schools and the black schools. There it was the last name of this and the last names of that.
Very, very...
But with all different colors, because theoretically you could have like indigenous names, but with all different shades,
mm-hmm.
and same with the other side, but different shades, but different. Like
it doesn't make sense. I know it doesn't make sense. I think it's more like a class system, right? At that point.
If that's how it goes.
In a way, yeah. So that's it's.
I think racism oftentimes around the world is disguised as a class issue. Mm-hmm. It's all boils down to class. I mean, just so often it's more of a class thing than a race thing.
It's Bolivia has a lot of.
Bolivia, is that where the women wear those bowler hats?
Bowler's hat.
The bowler hats, like the little ball hat.
Oh yeah. So their name is Cholitas.
Cholitas, yes,
and Cholitos, and they're mostly indigenous ladies.
And they live in is that like a mountainous?
They live in mountain areas mostly, and they wear this really like 5 pairs of skirts.
Yes.
Yeah, they're literally, because it's so cold up there. That's why they wear 5. Yeah. They're like really thick skirts.
I see them on TV.
And they put 5.
And it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Now I know the reason. It's because it's so cold up there, you idiot. Duh.
Yeah, that's why they wear so many skirts. You're like, why do they have so many skirts on?
Yeah, well, you look at it on TV and it's like, oh, it looks nice. It's sunny. It's, oh yeah.
No, the Cholitas are badasses. Definitely. But yeah, no, Cholitas, there's this show, I think Vice did it. It's like Cholita Wrestling.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's some Cholitas that wrestle in Bolivia.
I'm surprised I haven't seen that. I'm a big Vice fan.
Yeah, you should watch it.
Vice kind of sucks now, but they used to be really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they have some good things. Yeah, I think they do. I think those Cholitas have a special alcoholic drink that they make there that they make with their spit. Does that sound familiar?
It does.
Like they chew something up and then spit it out.
I know what you're talking about, but I forgot the name.
Yeah.
I know like the Bolivia.
It's like a beer, but I don't think it's like super alcoholic, but I think it's like a beer, maybe a few percent, but I don't know.
Kind of like whatever they're drinking is probably moonshine.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything like close to that, you know?
Does Bolivia have a big drinking culture?
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
They're all alcoholics.
Really? Is that, yeah? Like,
it's kind of like sad and good in a way, because there's drunks everywhere, all over the street. And I grew up just seeing people pass out everywhere on the streets all the time. There's always a celebration for something. Fireworks every single day.
Oh, really?
There's literally no rules for that in Bolivia. There's literally a
it's a
party.
third world country. You guys have very little rules, right?
Yeah. There is literally no rules yet. So there's a party every day. Obviously not anymore because of Corona, but
Damn
no,
Corona.
Definitely a drinking culture. But they don't really care about fancy drinks or anything like that. They just want beer, shots, and they just get drunk.
Let's get fucked up.
My family was never like that though. Yeah, my family was very like straightforward. Like we never really were a party family. So it's kind of funny because I'm a bartender.
Right.
And when I told them what I do, they were like, "What? You're a bartender? Like, so you make money off of that?" Because over there, it's not really a job, a real job in a sense, because it doesn't really exist.
There's no bars over there?
I mean, there's bars, but like it's usually
but
like the server is the bartender. There's not really like a culture of
hey, let's go down to get drinks at the bar.
Yeah.
Is there not like that? Like, hey,
there's like touristic bars, I would say.
Okay.
Tourist bars, and there's bartenders there, but they don't take it seriously. You know, it's just a bar where the tourists go. There is a bartender, but they're not gonna like go all out, like, you know.
Right.
They're just gonna serve what they need to serve to get the tourist drunks.
Sure. That's all people want.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation.
And so, you know, when I tell them what I do here, and they're like, "You make money? Like that much money?" I'm like, "Yeah." Bartenders make pretty good money, or server, like the industry in general, like compared to what they make over there. You know, in general, like on a real, like they have a career job, and I'm making that much money as a server at like 21 to 26, and being able to help them, it's like mind blowing. They're like, "How does that work?"
Get your ass up here. I'll teach you. I'll teach you.
No, it's fine though.
Put the lime in the coconut. You drink it all up.
But no, I like bartending. It's fun to be able to meet people from all over the world, talk to them, and, you know, being able to have that connection with people. I've met so many people throughout my life now, and I think it's because I've been a bartender, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's definitely...
Well, it definitely suits your personality. I mean, there's plenty of bartenders out there that are just there to make the drinks and give me your $1 for each drink I make or whatever. But yeah, you're definitely... Yeah, you're a people person. I
just love meeting people too. And I've always wanted to travel my whole entire life. Like that would be a dream of mine, right? But the best way to travel, I feel like right now for me, or is like through bartending. It's like I get to meet people. It's like their own little world, right?
Yeah.
You're your own world. I want to get to know your world. And I think that's why I find it so fun and fascinating to get to learn from other people. But yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what this podcast is. Same thing. Like,
yeah.
There's a whole nother world I'm looking at right now. I've that's funny. I've described that the same way. Like, yeah, there are infinite amount of worlds out there. As long as there's an infinite amount of people, we all have our own
Yeah.
perspective and how we go through this world, go through this life with our thoughts and theories and
Mm-hmm.
beliefs, whatever, interactions.
Exactly. But besides that, I am rock and rolling. Eventually, hopefully, we find an end hole to this situation in the world, and we're able
Pandemic,
to.
I think June.
You think June?
I think June.
I hope so. It's really sad to see the service industry struggle. So I want it to come to an end.
I hate that. That was one of the biggest things that I was really concerned with, because I spent many years bartending,
Mm-hmm.
serving. Like, I was in that industry for a long time. Like, that was my main source of income in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now, like, what would have happened to me? Well, if I was doing that while this happened, like, I would have been, I don't know, I've been freaking out. Like,
I did freak out for.
just freaking out. What do I do?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. And then, it's fine. I would have been cool with it. Shut us down for a couple weeks.
Right.
But now, like, some places still aren't. I think most places are doing some kind of soft open, or, light open type stuff. But
For sure. Like,
Kansas City's
sadly,
lucky. We've been
super lucky lately. I just feel like the most recent one that really hits, I think, Kansas City is the Rieger. The Rieger is closing its doors on the 31st of this month. And that,
Oh, wow.
the
I didn't know
Rieger
that.
KC.
I know
Crossroads,
that. Yeah, no, I know right where it's at. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised. Don't they have another one too?
No, yeah, they do, but it's a little bit separate ownership, I believe.
Okay.
I don't really know.
I haven't been to one in the Crossroads. I've been to the other one.
Yeah.
With the slide.
But it's really sad to me because they've done so much for the community in Kansas City while the pandemic was happening, and
That's
everybody
right.
got laid off. I got laid off.
They did stuff.
They were given free meals
Yes,
every
that's right.
single day from 4 o'clock, I believe, to 8.
If you're in the service
And
industry.
I actually went a few times because I was like, I personally felt like I need to save every single cent I'm getting
Right.
from unemployment because I don't know what's going to happen. And I lived right down the street, so I would walk there with my friend from the industry too, and we'll get our free meal. They did so much for Kansas City, for the service industry.
Yep.
They fed the homeless while the pandemic was happening. So I
when
believe
there was a big shortage of hand sanitizer,
they
they were
gave
one of
them-
the first ones that made a whole bunch
Mhm.
of we're gonna make a whole bunch of hand sanitizer
Yeah.
and give it out to you guys.
They were amazing. And it's
Damn.
just sad to see that
Oh,
happen.
come on, Karma, where you at?
Yeah.
Where you at, Karma? That's why I don't
I
believe in
know.
that shit. Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's really sad. So you have a few, weeks to go support them until, the lights get turned off.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
hoping
we lost
that
Nara too.
Huh?
We lost Nara too.
Nara, yeah. I love that place too.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
I'm
great.
so surprised about that too.
Yeah, that was like the spot. Like
Mhm.
that was the hip spot for sushi. Everybody wanted to go there.
Yeah, there's been a few spots and it's just like really sad. I think this winter is going to be really, really dark because the patios are really what are keeping a lot of restaurants afloat too. Having that extra seating helps a lot.
People feel safer out there.
Exactly, and I think it's going to get a little bit worse in a sense, but hopefully not. Hopefully people still support, each establishment by either getting carry out or getting the cocktail kits to go. And if you're comfortable going out, definitely go support local.
And if you're not comfortable going out, get comfortable going out.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, if you want to
Take safety precautions.
Take your safety precautions, but it's fine. If you get it, it's still, chances are it's going to be fine. Chances are you're going to be asymptomatic. If you're not asymptomatic, you're probably going to be fine. It's going to suck for a couple weeks. Probably not even that long. It's gonna be a few days where it really sucks, but then you'll get over it, and it'll it's just
Yeah, I feel like that's true, but also I think it's more to it. I think anxiety that people have, it really takes a toll. So if that's gonna give anxiety, definitely just chill at home then.
Yeah, I guess. Get over it. Get over it. Take your Xanax and go out and support these people. I mean, this is our community.
That's true.
This is our community. This is our, this is our economy as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very concerned with Kansas City because I was here, I've been here for a long time, and I remember when you would go downtown and it was a ghost town
Mm-hmm.
before COVID, like, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, you go down there and it was a fucking ghost town. There was nobody down there. Wasn't shit to do. There was no power and light.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing. There was no rail system. There was just not. It sucked.
Mm-hmm. It was just like First Fridays.
Yeah.
That was a thing to do.
Yeah.
Every First Fridays.
And now it's continually just growing, steady and steady. And they're still building. I was just at Messenger Cafe this week, and there's that market thing that they've been building there.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up like what exactly is going to go there, and it's going to be like this city market type thing with like 20 vendors, like 20 restaurant vendors in there.
Where?
It's right in between the Kansas City Star building and Messenger Cafe.
Oh wow.
Like, or like if you got Messenger Cafe.
Yeah.
You go on the roof, and if you look towards like the Kansas City Star building, go to the right a little bit. It's like that big, huge that two-story brick building.
Yeah, okay.
Badass. It's huge. It's like
Cool.
that. They're turning it into something dope.
So kind of like a parlor in a sense.
I think, but way bigger. I think there's also going to be like office buildings and some other things in there.
That'd be cool.
But I don't know how they expect.
It's a weird time.
Yeah.
For sure.
I see all these other places in the crossroads, all these other apartments and office buildings building up all over.
Yeah.
And it's like they obviously started this pre-pandemic.
Right.
And it looks like they're going to complete these. But what's going to happen? Like, I'm concerned with how they're going to be able to fill a lot of this real estate, you know?
They're making plans, though. I like what they're doing with A&C.
Making plans, but if they ain't got money to spend, like, where's that money coming from? Like,
Right.
the
And-
rent better be
and-
super cheap. Like, how
But
else are they
the
going to be able
rent's
to do it?
really expensive in Crossroads too. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so expensive.
It can't be like they're going to have to
Yeah.
fix that.
Exactly. There's definitely a gap.
And that's what I'm thinking maybe that will be like the silver lining for this pandemic is maybe some places will get super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess that probably just really benefits the wealthy anyways.
Yeah.
If you got money to spend now, buy up this shit now, save it for later. I
Mhm.
mean, that's what you do, right? I need
Yeah.
money, Tiki. Do you give me a few $1 million?
You give me a few $1 million. I'm trying to make it. I'm struggling. No, I'm not struggling. I'm thankful for what I'm able to survive, live comfortably, eat every day, take a shower. I'm thankful.
And you're in
So,
air conditioning.
Yeah. And air conditioning and iced tea. McDonald's. For $1.50, right? I think.
Yeah, I think it's $1. Any
A
size
large
drink,
one.
any size drink at McDonald's is $1.
McDonald's. That's so crazy.
Yep,
It's so cheap to eat there,
it is.
but so bad.
Yeah, it's very
They
hard.
need to make healthy food more affordable.
Yeah, they do. It's very, very hard to eat healthy on a budget.
Mm-hmm.
There's ways to do it, I think, but I think those ways are like a pain in the ass.
Right. I mean, it's easier for people to just go on a drive-through and get really bad food for you, and then go to a drive-through and get really healthy food.
Or it's easier and cheaper. I
Yeah,
can
it's
go.
chea-
I
yeah,
can go to
exactly.
McDonald's. and
They're everywhere. too.
I'll drive through McDonald's if I want to get filled. If I just want to watch my wallet and just get filled up on protein and calories, you can do it for $4.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get 4 chicken sandwiches or 4 cheeseburgers or something like
Yeah.
that.
It's cheap. You know what's funny? Fun fact. There's no McDonald's in Bolivia.
I was gonna ask about that. You guys got anything?
We have Burger King, which is really big over there, surprisingly. And we have Subway, Quiznos. I know, weird. And that's pretty, and the other like random chain restaurants. But funny enough, like here in America, we like eat McDonald's as a normal thing, or fast food. It's just normal. In South America, everybody cooks. When you go out to dinner or any place in general, it has to be for a special event. And I remember like growing up in Bolivia, the only time we went to Burger King was when it was like somebody's birthday.
Okay.
And it was like once a year. And it was a big deal.
Was it,
It
the
was,
American menu?
Yeah, because like, oh, it's a little slice of America.
Okay.
You know, that's how it felt. And and you get the little toys too.
Oh yeah.
You remember? And
Yeah.
as a kid, you're like, this is so dope. And so it was really like a special moment to go to Burger King. And it's funny because here we don't take it that way. It's normal. There's no like taboo or anything about it. Over there it is. So if you go to Burger King all the time over there, you either are really wealthy because they're American prices, and also it's just weird. Like, you don't do that over there. It's not common at all, and that's why McDonald's never made it. So there's no McDonald's in Bolivia, but there's McDonald's everywhere in the world except Bolivia.
No, really?
Yeah, there's actually an article about it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. You should read it. But there's a Burger King, so there you go. Yeah, but no, it's funny how here in America it's so normal just to do that. In Bolivia, we eat a 3-course meal in a sense every day.
Home cooked, homemade usually.
Yes, I grew up. Yeah, my aunt used to cook every single day. Soup as an entree.
What kind of soup?
All types of soup. It could be vegetable soup. It could be chicken noodle soup. There are so many types. And then she'll, and then dinner. And then for like a little snack, it'll be like maybe like a little pie or something.
Ooh.
But we also ate dinner in Bolivia. It's common to eat dinner at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. What time do you wake up and go to bed? I mean,
What do you mean?
how's that dinner? Like, what time's breakfast? 7 a.m. when you wake up?
Yeah, in Bolivia, it's a very working country. Like, if you're either...
But 1 p.m. is that's like a late lunch.
That's when we had dinner. That's why a lot of people in South America or in Bolivia in general are very small. Because you eat dinner times at 1 o'clock and everybody goes
Is it a
home
Okay.
at like noon, like 12:30 to go eat dinner, and then they all go back to work.
Oh, wow.
Or school sometimes too. There's like midday school, and so they'll let you go home, get dinner, and come back to school.
It's just not like a long dinner. Like, some cultures will do like a 3-hour dinner or something like that.
No, it's like an hour.
That's a long dinner.
It's
Okay.
a long. I mean, yeah, it takes time to go there,
Okay.
eat
Yeah.
dinner, and then go back to work.
And then you don't eat after. Like, then you'll have a snack maybe before bed.
Exactly. And so around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we'll have tea every single night, and it would be like a little piece of cheese or bread and tea.
Okay.
And then we go to bed. That was my life when I was in Bolivia, and it was so common to that. So when I came here, I was kind of expecting that, I guess, because I was 11. I didn't know what to expect when I came to America. And then the first thing I had was McDonald's. When I came, my mom was like, "What do you want to eat? You can eat whatever you want." And I was like, She was like, "We can go to McDonald's." And I was like, that's what I want. Because you, as a kid, you're like, "Oh, I see it all the time on the commercials. You saw it, like, And I was like, yeah, that's what I want. I'm in America. Yeah, that's American food.
Was it good? Was it everything you wanted?
It was so good.
What'd you get? The Happy Meal?
Yeah. And it was funny because, like, for the first 3 months that I met my mom for the first time, that's literally all we did, go to McDonald's. And I was like,
because she knew it made you happy. She was like, at least I can do this for her. Like, I got to buy this girl's love. What am I going to do? How am I going to start this?
Okay, because I was a healthy kid too, though. In Bolivia, I was very healthy. And we walked everywhere in Bolivia. Like, we didn't have a car. We walked everywhere. And, coming here, we have a car. I get healthy. I'm like, oh, man, this is America. Later on in life, I realized that's not really healthy. But as a kid, you're just like, hell yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'll eat all the McDonald's.
McDonald's, air conditioning, and a car?
And tea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my mom definitely was trying to win my love in a sense. But I don't blame her. She was trying to get to know me.
Oh, I do
and
it too.
And that was a way that she could see, like, my eyes got bright. Like, ooh, McDonald's, that's what I want. And I was really in a funk all the time because I went straight to school when I came. And I didn't know any English. It was really, really rough for me. And I got bullied a lot when I was a kid, and she could tell like I've been crying all day. So she would just take me to McDonald's. I hated being here. I was really depressed as a kid, for sure. From 11 to 16, I didn't understand anything. And it was funny, like after every day after school, I would go immediately and watch Judge Judy.
Yes.
Because that was the thing that was on, and I was so desperate to learn English. So I would grab a dictionary and I would try to spell out the words that she would say, and I would try to find it.
An English dictionary?
Yes, an English dictionary. And I would ask my mom, like, what did she say? And she'd be like, she said this. And then she would help me by trying to spell out the word, like write it as you hear it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I was learning the alphabet, obviously. And that was one of the ways I learned, by watching Judge Judy and Friends. And because we didn't have cable, so that's what we watched. But yeah, no, it was really tough being in the American school system, not knowing any English. So I was in the ESL program till I was 16, which is English as a second language.
Okay.
And when I was 16, I graduated to go to normal classes. So I took a test saying that I'm proficient in English and able to be in normal classes. And that's when I think I started to meet my friends that I'm still friends with now.
Oh, nice.
And because I was able to be like a normal kid in a sense and be in normal classes. But definitely learning English was one of the toughest parts of my life, for sure. It's till this day, I'm really bad at writing, but I'm really good at understanding it. A lot of people actually ask me, they're like, you don't really have an accent though when you speak. And I came at the perfect age, I guess, where you're 11 and I was able to just teach myself really well. I watched a lot of TV and so I'm bilingual now. And when I speak Spanish, I don't have an accent. When I speak English, I don't have an accent. So I literally have no accent. I'm just Diana. And when I speak English, I'm just Diana. When I speak Spanish, I'm just Diana. There's no accent.
That's funny.
Sometimes when I get drunk, though, there's a little bit of an accent that comes out, and I start speaking more Spanish somehow.
Charlie, you remember the coffee dudes we had on here? The two coffee guys, and the one dude was from like maybe Guatemala or Honduras or something like that. But then he moved to Australia as a kid and then moved back here like as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, he looks a lot like you,
Mm-hmm.
but he talks perfect English, but with an Australian accent.
Oh, really?
But then when he gets drunk, his, I don't know, native language starts mixing with it. And all it's just this funny word soup coming out.
Same.
It's really great.
It's weird.
I love it.
I feel like I don't know, for some reason I start like, I want to be more of my cult. I mean, I'm already Latina, but when I get drunk, I'm always like trying to play like Latin music with my friends. I'm like, give me that phone. I'm like, we're gonna play some salsa, merengue, and they're like, Diana's drunk. They're like, Diana's drunk. They're like, it's like the minute I start putting Hispanic music on, they're like, Diana's drunk. Because at first I'm just like chill, and then I'm like, it's time for some salsa.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny. And it's funny because I have friends till this day who have known me before I could speak English. And so I have some really close friends of mine who have seen me grow into the person that I am today. So it's really cool to have those friends because they're always humble you. They're like, you've come such a long way, Diana. I remember you when you were, like really scared in middle school. You wouldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah,
obviously,
I
I wonder
why.
Yeah. And they've seen, obviously, me be able to communicate with them because they met me where I was just like, I didn't know what to say because I didn't know English.
Didn't know how to say it.
Yeah.
What do I
or
say?
anything.
How do I say it?
It was really rough. So they've seen me, grow. And so I really appreciate those friends. It's kind of cool being friends with them still. Because I'm like, yeah, they knew me before I could speak English.
You're so young, too. Like, I'm thinking here, what an interesting life, but you're only 26 and still have so much more ahead of you with such a cool little story that you have so far. Like, that makes for some good character, and that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, how fun. I'm glad I met you.
It's
when when you were so you just happened to be at this one restaurant, that first one in Waldo, and you saw the drinks. You just were you like a partier beforehand, and saw these drinks, these cocktails, and that's what made you ask these questions, or like what made you?
So basically, I was at the time I was 18 when I got hired at District, and I started as a host, and that was like my first entry to the service industry world. But before that, I worked at Five Guys.
Okay.
And then obviously I got a job. I started on Craigslist, and I was like, I need another job. I want to live by myself. And so I started as a host, and so the host stand was across the bar, and I would see the bartenders I thought they were the coolest people ever.
Okay.
And I was still, I was 18 trying to find myself.
Right.
And wanted, and Gordon and Tiffany, and I worked with such amazing bartenders, Peter Clark. They would look so cool behind the bar, just badasses. And I'm like, I want to feel that confident, because you see also a confidence when you kind of have to be confident behind the bar too. You can't be kind of like timid and like scared. And that was something that I wanted to always feel, confident in something that I do. And I think bartending was one of those things that I saw that I could teach myself and hopefully get to that level. But I thought it was just so cool. And that was one of the biggest things that I saw first. Friday nights, Saturday nights, the rush of the restaurant. And I was like, I like feeling this way.
It's an energy.
It's an energy. That's the word. Yeah. And I would see the line up with tickets, and Gordon would just make them. He would line up like 10 tents and just make boom, 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 just like, and just like, it was beautiful to me to see that. It was like so badass and cool. And you just mesmerize. Like, I just want to watch you make all these drinks. And then they come out, you shake them, and you put them in this glass and a beautiful garnish, and there you go.
And it tastes amazing.
Exactly. And it was just like the whole process, how fast it can go, and just it was just amazing to me. And I wanted to do that so bad. And I just started asking a lot of questions. And I graduated from hosting to being a server. And then that's when I started getting more into it, because I would bring in the drinks. I would start seeing like what they had in it. And then I would ask, how did you make that syrup? Or what spirit it's that? How does it taste? And I started asking all these questions that make that cocktail what it is. And eventually Gordon was like, do you just want to work behind the bar? And I was like, yes, please. And it was a good start for me, because I started working morning shifts where you don't really make a lot of cocktails. You just make like mimosas, Bloody Marys, simple stuff. And then eventually, he started trusting me more, because he saw how much passion I had. I wanted to learn all the time. And eventually he gave me night shifts and, weekend shifts, and that's how it went. But before all of that, I wanted to be a bartender because I thought it was so cool.
Okay.
And then obviously the craft part comes with it, and the integrity you get from creating a good cocktail and people liking that. It's satisfying.
So like that cocktail that you have created now at Mean Mule, the
Country Roads.
Country Roads. Did you create that yourself? Like you make your own drinks? Like just, I'm going to create it yourself, like.
Well, I think that's what it comes with. That's the fun of being a bartender. You're kind of like a chef in a way.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're coming up with your own ingredients, your own drinks.
You can infuse things that would change the spirit, how it tastes completely. You can use certain liqueurs that would change the texture even of the cocktail completely. And and then the garnish is like the little touch at the end that makes that drink badass, or whatever you want to call it. But I started experimenting more at Tiki Cat. That's where I was more creative in a sense. And I have a cocktail right now called the Retro Cocktail Hour. And that was like my first like really proud cocktail, I would say. And that actually is a GNR. It's a new bar that it's opening in West Plaza on the 39th. 39th Street. Yeah. No. West Plaza's not on 39th. 39th Street by the Drunken Warm and all of that.
In West, like 39th Street by KU Med Center?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
a new bar called GNR. So that was one of my creations that I did at Tiki Cat, and they're actually going to feature it there.
Okay.
So if you want a Tiki D cocktail, you can go there and get it. It's called the Retro Cocktail Hour. It's a rum-based cocktail. But besides like creating cocktails for a main meal, like that's basically what any bartender really does. You just create, you see what works, what doesn't, you make a balance.
I didn't realize that. I just
And
thought there was
a lot of trial and error.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. And a lot of asking people, do you like this or not? We've had meetings, obviously, like staff meetings where we all like create cocktails too, and we judge each other's cocktails, like I think this needs a little bit more of this, or maybe take that out, use a different liqueur or something. And it's pretty cool to be able to do that. And we did that for the menu, for the fall menu as well. It's like one time a year where you just get together and you just hang out and create cocktails until you find that like, okay, this is right, this is a good menu.
The artistry of drink making is so much deeper than I thought. Like I thought bartenders I thought what made a good bartender was if I could name the drink, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's what this is. I know how to make an old fashioned. I know how to make a Kansas City old fashioned or a Scissorac, or like you just know how to make these drinks. I didn't realize it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just create my own thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and you can take inspiration obviously from
Right.
those drinks, like a riff, and that's fine too. It's just your own twist on an inspiration from a classic cocktail. And I think that's the fun part of being a bartender, being able to create. And at the end of the day, if it tastes good and you like it, that's what matters though.
Yeah.
At the end. Honestly, that's what I've been told at the same time.
that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
What's the Retro Cocktail Hour? What is in that one?
So actually that one was inspired by the DJ called Daryl Brogdon from the Retro Cocktail Hour. I don't know if you heard of him.
I don't know.
He's been doing his shows since 1995, and it's on Kansas City Public Station.
Oh, cool.
And he's been doing that exotica sounds, strange music, space music. So he was one of the DJs that would come to Tiki Cat every first Wednesday of the month, and he would DJ and record his show there, and then publish it that weekend. So he was one of the first people that I met that was like a tiki enthusiast that just like was so welcoming and so nice to me, and welcomed me to the tiki family, Tiki Cat. And I just felt like he needed a cocktail that was for him, some inspiration that was inspired by him, because he would come to Tiki Cat and just do it for free. And I was like, you're so nice. Like, you need some recognition.
Nice.
So I put some stuff together. I put blackberry liqueur together, orange juice, some orgeat, some Jamaican rum, and some lime juice together, and I made the Retro Cocktail Hour. And it's delicious. And it's so good. And it's literally what the name would look like, just a purple typhoon, is that the word?
Yeah.
Typhoon in the glass.
Oh, beautiful.
And that's how he describes it too. And so it was a collaboration between me and him, and I really wanted to make this cocktail special because he deserves it. And yeah.
And rum is your favorite liqueur to work with?
Yeah, it's just fun and funky, and there's so many types of rums. I feel like you can do almost anything with it. And that cocktail was on the Tiki Cat menu, but that lay close, and it was a lot of people love that cocktail. So I've got asked a lot, like, can you make it for to-go cocktails or something like that? And I never got the chance to do to-go cocktails this past year, but I'm in the works right now with some bars on doing some tiki to-go cocktails, so be on the lookout. But the Retro Cocktail Hour itself, you can get it at that new bar, GNR. And I'm going to also create it on my pop-ups.
I have this guy that the guy that owns Mother Clucker actually got me turned on to this dude. I'm trying to get him on the podcast. He's a street chef. He like cooks out of his house, and you order it from him,
Oh, that's awesome.
and it's like Mexican food, like bad. You should see. I'll get you hip to his Instagram.
Hell yeah.
Streets. He changed his name. It was the Real Chef Tony, but now it's like Street Eats or something like that. He spells it funny. Anyways, he does it out of his house. Like you order ahead of time, and then he's gonna have like a ton of whatever dope ass food. Is that something you could do? Like I'm gonna Tiki D's cocktails to go. Like all these other bars and stuff are doing that. Could you
I've thought about it.
Tiki D's cocktails
From my house.
from your house? People come to you and they get the kit.
I mean, I've thought about it before. There's just like a lot of like rules and regulations when you're selling alcohol too.
No, I know that. I'm kind of
But-
saying like, just do it on the low.
Well, I can't do it anymore. Again, I'm on the low.
Cops don't listen to the
It's
show.
already. It's already. been
Lawyers
said.
listen to the show. Cops don't.
They're like, Diana, you need a lawyer to do this. I mean, I thought about it. I just haven't had the chance to do it. I've been really busy with the pop-ups itself and, just doing mean meal stuff right now. But I'm definitely working on it right now with some collaboration with some bars. There's not a lot. I mean, there's Tiki Huna. Tiki Huna has amazing to-go cocktails to go.
Okay.
If you want some cocktails. And I've talked to Trent. We're deciding on collaborating on a cocktail to go and other bars that want to do that too. So, and I like to do that more because I get to support those bars and help them and, help me build my brand at the same time. And yeah, so it's definitely in the works, but I just haven't really done much about it quite yet.
You're a hustler though. Bouncing around like
Doing little
you're
side
like
projects.
you're like some of these like musicians or comics that I have on the show where they're networking or I'm going to perform over here. I'm going to perform over
Yeah.
here to try to get their name and stuff out there. It's
Mhm.
kind of you kind of got the same kind of hustle mentality. Kind of like
Mhm.
I'm going to do pop up here. I'm going to work at Westport Cafe for a night. Do this Iron District thing for a night. Like
Yeah. Next Sunday, if you want a place to watch the Chiefs game or just hang out, I'm going to be at the Press Penny Tavern. Guest bartending Sunday night.
This will be out in a couple weeks.
Oh, cool. Never mind.
Yeah, sorry people.
Retreat.
Retreat.
But no, yeah. So yeah, but also when you do that, like guest bartending, you bring people in, your
Mhm.
followers, people that just, want a random person instead. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that brings collaboration, support, community, and that's what all I'm about, and I don't really ask for much. I just want to be able to help, and if it helps build my brand for, the future, so someday I open up my bar, it'll all come in circles.
Right.
That's what I believe in.
Well, the pitch does a best bartender every year. We need to get you nominated for that next year.
Thanks. A lot of people have told me that. They're like, why are you in the list?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never really, I don't really, I guess, I mean, it'll be cool, but I don't really care for it that much. I don't ask my followers to go nominate me.
Yeah.
But if you do, that's cool.
I said, nominate me, nominate me, nominate me.
I just didn't think much of it. I don't really do. I think if it happens, it happens.
We
I'm
got
not
my
too worried.
nomination next year.
Thank you.
All right, Tiki, where can people find you?
You can find
Usually,
me
typically,
like working.
Yeah, people want to come see you
Yeah.
after they hear this. They want a Tiki D drink.
So Tuesdays is Tiki Tuesdays at Mean Meal. You can find me there for sure. And I'm also at Mean Meal 5 days a week. And at Tiki Huna every once in a while. You can honestly follow me on social. You'll see where I'm at. I'm at random places at all times. It's Tiki D _ Diana Condori.
Super easy to remember.
Yeah, Tiki D. And I literally post about where I'm going to be that week, that month, or wherever I'm at. But you can usually find me at Mean Meal all the time.
Making mean drinks.
Yeah.
She is the best bartender in Kansas City. I
No.
love her drinks.
No.
I think
so. Thank you, but
I haven't experienced them all, but you're my favorite.
thank you. I appreciate
All right, how about that? You might not be the best, but you're my favorite.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I'm the best. There's always somebody better. And I know my niche. I don't think I'm I'm humble enough to like know what I know, and but I know there's so many good bartenders out there, and it's crazy what they know. 'Cause like they like know everything. Like they've read books and books, and I'm just like,
Well, keep
damn.
reading. You're gonna get there. You're 26.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah. Tiki D, thank you so much for being here. This was amazing. I learned a little bit
Thank you
about
for
Kansas
having
City.
me. I think it's my first time
Seriously.
like telling my story in a sense, like to the public.
There it is, public. That's a crazy story. You've had a lot of interesting things happen in your life, a lot of adversity that you've certainly overcome, and you're triumphing now and just killing the game.
Thank you. I
want
appreciate
nothing
that.
the best happen for you, and yeah, hopefully one day I will get to walk into your own bar and I get to go up there and I'll say, hey, I'll take the Neanderthal podcast.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, we can collab.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, Tiki D. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.